Long days and pleasant nights, fellow travelers along the path of the beam. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Cecil Laird.
Yep, he's gonna definitely be laughing about that introduction. And welcome very much to the horror show. I'm so very happy to be doing this coverage about the long-awaited Castle Rock Hulu TV series produced by none other than J.J. Abrams, the same mind behind the 11/22/63 that we covered for my solo channel in Fuegotainment. Sadly, we do not have our beloved Marcia Parker, who, due to some parental obligations, is not able to be with us for this review as initially intended. But Cecil and I are very stoked to give our thoughts on the first 3 episodes that were dropped approximately 1 week ago. And they're going to be doing everything week by week from here on out. But a lot of expectations, I must admit. I was surprised about some things. I was disappointed about some things. I really enjoyed some things. It's been a mixed bag thus far, but I'm curious to first and foremost parlay my own and hear what Cecil has to say as well. So, yeah, what's your overall impression? Since I know what mine are, but I'm really curious what yours were after taking in these first 3 bits of the show, man.
Okay, so I'll give you the sort of the semi roller coaster that I had with this one. I started out on a big high. I thought the show started out super strong.
Same.
I
Pilot
thought,
was very good.
Yeah, the pilot was excellent. It was a great setup. It was a very kingy setup, but so much more interesting than I think a lot of the setups were. It's like, okay, so Shawshank, a prison we're all very familiar with because it's a prison that is the subject of many, 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 many people's favorite movie. And so not only is there Shawshank, but it starts off with the warden of Shawshank fucking decapitating himself, via car, after treating himself to 2 moon pies, which I thought was a great detail they threw in later on. They found 2 moon pie wrappers. Oh, he treated himself before finishing. I was like, yeah, okay, that's about right. I might stop for a Twinkie or 2 on my way out the door.
Yeah, it's like your last meal.
It would actually probably be. It would probably be a cupcakes. The Hostess cupcakes have been my downfall for years. Although I haven't had one in a long time. But anyway, sidetrack. It starts off super interesting with the warden just cacking himself, and then we find out that that we're introduced, of course, to Henry. Who is, well, I'll let you get into all that of it, but the interesting part for me was that we find out there is a hidden prisoner in a closed down part of Shawshank that...
Bless you, sir.
Sorry. Can take a pause there. That ends up being the person played by the guy that played Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård. And
Indeed.
We don't know anything about him, but we do find out. I don't remember if we found this out in the pilot or episode 2, but we find out that... Hang on. Jesus, Mary. All right. That someone thinks that he's the devil and that he's been locked up because he's the devil, which that alone was one of the most king setups. Like, I was like, okay, this absolutely fits into the pantheon of something King would write, in my estimation. You would obviously be a better judge of that, so I'm interested to get your opinion on whether it felt that way for you or not, but it did very much so for me. Unfortunately, the downslide of the roller coaster for me is that it then continued very much like some of the slower, not great versions of King material that we've gotten in the past. It's not moving fast enough for me. There are some interesting reveals, but not enough, and I'm not interested in everyone. I'm only interested in certain characters as we've been progressing. So I guess that's as much as I can say as my overall thoughts, but where do you land, Fuego?
I'm actually very similar to you, despite my King pedigree, man, in the fact that I think, especially upon rewatching and when I first watched it, I very notoriously went on Twitter and was like, I don't particularly like Castle Rock, and I didn't. And those feelings are still there, but I do feel in some ways like there was high expectations, and so the high expectations led to disappointment. And then the second viewing, I found more merit. But then in the third viewing, I found myself trying to like it more, is really the best way I can describe it. So I'm glad I gave it three good shots, because I love the setup, just like you. I think it's intriguing. I think it's interesting. There there's lots of Easter eggs all across the board. I mean, there's references to the end of Needful Things when the town burns down. There's references to, the body being found on the train tracks in The Body, Stand By Me.
Oh, really? Okay. So see, that's what I'm interested to hear, are these tie-ins that I don't pick up on.
Yeah, and there's newspaper clippings about the, rabid dog going through the town in Cujo. So and they mentioned the killer in Frank Dodd from the first half of the Dead Zone. And so
wait, before you continue, just a point of clarification. In Cujo, the whole story of Cujo in the movie is Cujo versus mom and kid. In the book, did Cujo go through the town? Is that what happened?
No, that's them embellishing just the slightest bit.
Okay, but I'm okay with that. I'm just curious.
Yeah, he killed some people besides, terrorizing the mom and kid. He notoriously, in the book at least, it's honestly been a while since I've watched the film, so I can't remember if the sheriff Bannerman from, the Dead Zone is actually killed in the film, but he is definitely killed in the book, and that's why you end up with Pangborn as the sheriff in stuff like Needful Things and then The Dark Half and so on. So they pepper in a lot of references, and even in the opening credits, there's references to everything from Red Room to 19 to The Two Dead Girls, which is, referencing the Green Mile. And so there's Easter eggs galore, and I appreciate their zest for that. But beyond the setup, I can't say I care really too much for most of the characters in this. And not to sound like a chauvinist, but most notably, I find the female characters in this very boring, very one note, and very just disinteresting to me. They are
the psychic, especially.
They're pretty bad.
The psychic could have such a great arc, but she's so boring. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, they're totally boring. And while I like the actor who's playing sheriff, former sheriff in this case, Alan, Pangborn and stuff, and then I'm intrigued by the Henry character. But I'd say the biggest level of intrigue is definitely with this mysterious Skarsgård character who has never been in any book before and just trying to unravel the mystery. That's at the core of this, but like you said, for overall impressions, it's meandering, and where they hooked me with the first episode, I tweeted after watching episodes 2 and 3, and episodes 2 and 3 were just, I wasn't buying into everything else they were trying to do beyond the main mystery. Mm-hmm. So
I agree. I think the whole mystery should be about that guy, and I don't care about anything else, but they're trying to shoehorn in all this stuff. And the psychic lady, she's so boring to watch. To me, she's very reminiscent of, it's so funny, she's like a cross between the really annoying chick that I don't like very much, that was in the movie that we saw at the Phoenix Film Festival, Cynthia.
Okay.
She played in Rob Zombie's Halloween. She was Laurie. I don't like what she's evolved into as an actress, and to me, the actress that plays the psychic is a cross between her, that actress, and the actress that plays her sister. Ironically, the one that came in that's from Fargo.
And it's like, are you high?
I loved her on Fargo, and the main character that we're following is literally a cross between that woman and the annoying character from Cynthia. So I don't dig on her at all, and she's just kind of annoying. And then the one scene I liked was the one scene, I guess, that was meant to endear us to her, where she's like, no, I remembered you. I just didn't want to tell you. But she's playing it so weird. Like, I feel like there could be
After
much more.
There
could be much more emotional attachment if it was a better actress, in my opinion. That's, again, we're basing it on 3 episodes alone. But all I can say is when she's on screen, I'm yawning.
Well, and I also felt the same way. I guess we're kind of segueing into acting at least a little bit here. Yeah. I felt the same way with the girl from Don't Breathe and The Evil Dead, where I feel like she's being written very poorly, and the fact that her name is Jackie Torrance, is there going to be some sort of connection there? Who the hell
there has to be, right? I mean, there has to be. Even if
even
if it's not explained, there absolutely has to be.
Yeah, but she's being underserved, and she's not very interesting to me. I mean, if we're going to at least jump back to story real quick, and this is something that we talked about with Marcia, who we're sad couldn't be here. Story-wise, I feel like they're trying so hard to make Castle Rock Derry. They're trying to make it a city that didn't just have, a few bad things happen here and there. They're trying to make it like an overarching, decade after decade cyclical evil, which Castle Rock in the books was never particularly presented that way in comparison with Derry. As far as they stretch back with Derry centuries in the book, and I feel like they're really trying to associate that with Castle Rock as well.
It should have been called Derry for sure. And this guy should be the character from It coming back and starting to do his reporting. Am I wrong? It should be that character. Who is that? Is that Henry? What is his name in It? The black character.
Oh, Mike Hanlon.
Mike Hanlon, right? Wouldn't it have been cool if it was Mike Hanlon coming back to town or doing an investigation?
Leaves,
Oh yeah, so this is what he's doing. Like, this is the newest mystery that he's trying to uncover, is the mystery at Shawshank. Like, that would have been so much more interesting to me. But also, Fuego, we should mention, I don't know if you saw this article or if it was a bunk article that I saw today, that they were saying that Castle Rock is meant to be now an ongoing anthology where every year it's a new Stephen King-esque mystery that needs to be solved.
Yeah, and that's the vibe that I was getting. I was like, okay, they're going to focus on different pockets of Castle Rock, because it's supposedly, after all of these years, after, Leland gone from Needful Things, left the town, and it all burned down, and everything they've rebuilt. I mean, Derry was destroyed many times.
Did they reference that happening yet?
There is one particular newspaper clipping that they show about the town burning and stuff, and so that's your point of reference if you've read Needful Things. Or
I was wondering about that. That's the only thing that I know of for sure that was like Castle Rock heavy and all the stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, and that it was claimed to be the last Castle Rock story for a reason, because King was destroying the town. But he's gone on to do a few short stories and things here and there. But I just am not connecting with it the way that I would like to, and I'm hopeful that maybe in the second season or maybe later in this season they could present something that's a slight bit more compelling. But I do feel like it's trying really hard, and I feel like at this point, after being so judgmental initially, like I mentioned, now I'm trying so much harder to be just a little easier on it and trying to like it. And there's still stuff to like, I mean...
How many episodes is it going to be?
It's going to be 10, and so the first 3 dropped initially. The 4th one is dropping tonight, and everything is going to be week to week.
Oh, it is tonight?
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe we should have waited. That's okay. It is. We'll be able to catch up with Marcia then. Speaking of Marcia... I should jump in with her comments. Marcia was going to join us, of course, but she was unable to. The life of a new mother. You can mention in the review that she says, quote, "You can mention in the review that I am intrigued, and the reveal at the end of the last episode gave me the chills. Loving the ghost aspect." Now, neither Fuego nor I can exactly realize what she's referring to with the ghost aspect.
I think it's maybe just her presumptions that I don't particularly agree with, but I mean...
That who is a ghost? Yeah. She thinks that he is a ghost? That Bill Skarsgård is a ghost?
I'm not even thinking that. My assumption would be that since we keep hearing stuff from the warden doing voiceovers when he's already been dead for a little while now, that, maybe there's some ghostly aspect of his presence lingering and trying to send references and messages to... Pangborn and other people, but I'm not buying that portion, personally. I mean, I thought it was kind of crazy where they found his head at the end of the second episode. I mean, I was definitely surprised at how R-rated this show chose to be with, F-bombs, and I mean, it definitely was, of course it's TVMA, but I didn't really remember much of that in 11/22, and I was trying to remember if that was actually, TVMA or not. I couldn't happen to recall, but
I didn't remember either.
No. But there's some violent stuff. I mean, the mascot jumping off the building at the beginning of episode 2, that was kind of crazy. But it's stuff like that makes me feel like it's more the Derry aesthetic and not the Castle Rock aesthetic.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So.
And I don't even have the pedigree that you do as far as the King goes, but I definitely feel like this is more Derry than it is Castle Rock. But I will say, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about the acting. We talked both a little bit about the acting. I do love Bill Skarsgård. I love his sort of lost. He's doing the full Christian Bale He's super gaunt. He's lost so much, weight.
And he's so tall and lanky, and
Yeah.
there's nothing to him, man. And
But he's still creepy, and I want to know what the deal is. If he's the devil, I'm really excited to see that reveal progression.
well, there's obviously this connection with him and Henry, man. There is something very significant. The fact that the warden, when he had Skarsgård's character trapped down there, was like, if they find you, ask for Henry. The last name's eluding me. And so that was the one thing he asked for. And then the guy on the inside contacts Henry in Houston. And I don't know. I really like the actor who's playing Pangborn, but I feel like Faye Dunaway is being totally underutilized as well. Like all of the women pretty much in this, I feel like, are not being given due justice with how they've been written. And it's
although
just
I
really...
will say, is it Joan Cusack playing the new warden?
No.
Who is that?
I'm not sure. She looks familiar, but it's totally not Joan Cusack.
Okay. I want to know who that is. I'm going to look that up. Continue.
All I was going to say, we could both look at it real quick, but I guess we were both doing the same thing. Yeah, but I don't know. It still has the potential, since we're only 3 episodes in and there's a total of 7, the mysterious reveal could build into something amazing. Stephen King is notorious for his slow burns and for, books that are, like door stoppers. And I don't know. I've talked to a lot of fellow constant readers and fans and friends and stuff, and they love this show so far. So I don't know. That's why I watched it 2 more times, just to try not to be as judgmental and to try to give it more perspective. And yeah, it was just an ebb and flow kind of thing. Like I said, really
that's more than I would be willing to give it.
Well, I mean, when they're only 40-something minutes each, I don't know. It's got its problems. So
Sissy Spacek, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Terry O'Quinn, chosen Jacobs. Trying to see who the lady is. Okay, so it's Ann Cusack.
No kidding. Okay, so she is in fact a Cusack.
Okay, all
right. I
right.
see the resemblance, and I was trying to put my finger on it, and I'm not sure if I'm 100% right, but the lead girl,
shit!
who's
So
like the
Ann
telekinetic
Cusack
and
is. I always thought it was Joan Cusack in Grosse Point Blank, but it was Ann Cusack.
What?
That's what it says, or at least she was in Grosse Point Blank.
I'm positive Joan Cusack is also in Grosse Point Blank too. There's like, shit, maybe they have all the Cusacks in there.
Yeah, probably so.
Well,
she was in Tank Girl also, and Stigmata. Okay.
Well, the girl that I'm thinking of, though, who was the main telekinetic, wasn't she on that horrible... boy, she was dating Ducky on the horrible 2.5 Men show, if I remember correctly, right?
I never watched it.
I've unfortunately been subjected to a few episodes here and there, and that show is god-awful, and I just don't like that actress. Maybe that's one thing that...
Subjected to, he says.
No, it's truth. It's truth, man. So I like half of the cast. I like half of the setup. I don't like the love story and the melodrama of that. Some of the dream sequences don't work for me. As a whole, I mean, while I do like the design of the town and everything, and the aspect of a continuing story. I was talking with somebody about this just last night, and I told her that basically what this feels like to me is somebody taking a really amazing song and they're going to do a cover song, right? And so they take the cover song and they try to like make it their own thing and stuff like that, and it's pretty good, but you would still prefer to listen to the original song because it's way better.
Right.
That's the way I feel about Castle Rock. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And it didn't do anything to say, that it's anything other than that to me as a non-huge, King fan or whatever. I mean, I'm a big King fan, but definitely not as much as you. So,
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
like Annie Wilkes status about Stephen King. I'm super psychotic.
Well, why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the first 3 episodes of Castle Rock. I know everyone's been fervently awaiting Fuego. So, Fuego, I mean, I want to give you free reign, as though this was your hail. Is there anything else you want to say about it? Make sure you had plenty of time, because I know people love your lengthy breakdowns.
No, as they do, and this is actually one where it's kind of if you don't have anything nice to say, keep your thoughts limited sort of approach. I could really tear into this show, and I don't necessarily want to because I'm hopeful that it's going to improve and that my overall impression will be better. I haven't watched the Dead Zone TV series, and I haven't watched Haven, so it's not like I've seen a lot of lengthy exposition and playing within the world of King, so I can't compare this to either of those, but I don't want it to suck. I didn't want it to suck. I didn't go in with a closed-minded, oh, it's going to be terrible mentality. But I can't help the way I feel about it so far, so...
Fair enough.
Let's hope it improves.
Fair enough. And I think we'll drop this tomorrow on the day that the episode releases, so... Cool. Yeah, this should be good. Well, thanks very much for watching. Like I said, let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought. But until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias up and Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared
until the Wheel of Ka comes around once more.
Oh, boy.